Sure shots and long shots. These are events that on a sure shot are, you're not going to lose. Just make the bet. You're not going to lose. A long shot are the ones that may be difficult to win, but it might look as if it's possible to win, and you generally will get high return on investment, basically. Now, I'm going to go over two different long shots and one different sure shot that, quite frankly, I'll never forget, at least anytime soon. It was the year, I think it was 2000. Might have been 1999, but I'm thinking it was 2000. And it was probably around late August of that year. So the baseball season is in play, and I'm not much of a baseball fan, but I'm a numbers fan and percentage, odds, that kind of deal. And what they had was a baseball team called the San Francisco Giants as 30-1 underdogs. 30-1 to win the World Series. Now, at this time, they were like 8-9 games up on the division, or 7 games ahead. It was a sure shot, let's say, that they were going to make the playoffs. They also were one of the hottest teams in the league at that time. They were competing for the best record, and I was doing the math in my head, and I said to myself, okay, so it's about 100% they make the playoffs, so we won't even go there. All they have to do is win 3 straight playoff rounds, and if you're flipping a coin, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8-1 or 7-1 odds. Man, this is like such an easy bet, but still, I'm faced with a much less than a 50% chance of winning, but I'm getting 30-1 on my money. Now, I was kind of wondering the whole time, do they have some sort of time machine to trap me into making the wager? And to the day, I still wonder this kind of stuff. I mean, it doesn't sound logical, but the world is far from logic at this point. Now, the next one was a sure shot, and that occurred 2 years later. It was pretty much exactly 10 years ago in 2002, in this time of year, winter time, during the Olympics. And it was Olympic wagering. I was just looking at the odds that were available, and I seen a hockey game in the Olympic format. It was the Czech Republic against Belarus or Latvia or some, what I call a joke country for the sport of hockey. Because generally speaking, there's 6 good teams in hockey, or 6 good countries, and the rest are jokes for the most part in international hockey. Canada, US, Russia, Sweden, Finland, and the Czech Republic are the teams that are generally going to do good, and the rest of the countries will not. So I looked at the odds, and well, I'm at the point where I can basically, to win $10, all I got to do is lay like 85 to win 10 profit. This is like a gimme profit. And I didn't have that much for, let's just say, an investment portfolio at that time, because quite frankly, I didn't have the funds. So I thought, let's just bet my entire investment portfolio. And it was only like, what, 500, 600, something like that, of US dollars. So I bet it on Czechoslovakia to beat whatever team it was, like a Latvia. Watching the game, oh, 1-0 Czechs, oh, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, GG, good game. Easy win. So a night or two goes by, and Canada's playing Germany. What a blowout this is going to be. And now it's something like lay 900 to win 100, or like minus 900 to win the game. Now, in the format of Olympic hockey, a tie was a loss. You had to win the game. You couldn't lose. You couldn't tie. You couldn't lose. You couldn't tie. You had to win. But there was no reason Canada was going to lose or tie this game. And it was a Sunday night, and I placed the wager, and I head off to the bar that night. And I'm with my friends, and I let you know about the wager, and it's like, hey, I'm betting it all on Canada tonight. I'm pretty much broke if I lose. Totally broke. It's like, wow, okay, well, and they're like, as if Canada's going to lose that game. So They have a screen with a game on there, so every so often I'm checking what's going on. I'm not watching it because it's a gimme win. Okay, Canada scores 1-0, sweet. Okay, Canada scores 2-0, sweet. 3-0, right on. And I think it was in the second period, Germany scored and it was 3-1. My friend comes up to me and says, "Are you worried? It's 3-1. And I'm thinking, no, I expected Germany to score maybe 1 or 2. And Canada doesn't crush the horrible teams. They beat them by 2, 3, 4 goals, and that's it. Unlike the Czech Republics or the Russians, who will beat the Germans by 10 goals every time. I don't know why, but that's just the way it works. Next thing you know, it's 3-2. Well, now I'm starting to get a little worried, and there's about 12 minutes left, and I get a ride back to my pad, and well, the first thing I do is I turn the telly on and put the game on, and it's 3-2 with a minute left, 40, 50 seconds left, and were the Germans ever pressuring to try to tie the game, and there was no overtime, so it's not like if they scored, I had 5 minutes for them to score again. That wasn't going to work that way. And, well, the game was over, 3-2, but that was the last time I ever did something like that. Last time I ever did something like that. Now, sometimes I take a bunch of those minus 500s and 600s and parlay them together. And I guess that's the more common thing. But then that doesn't become much of a sure shot. When you're relying on a 5-6 game parlay of sure shots, then it becomes like a regular game against the spread, like a minus 110 even money kind of bet. And it's a whatever kind of bet, we'll say. Okay, final one. Long shot. Now this one was an attempt to buy a Macintosh computer for a tiny fraction of the price over a multiple week parlay of multiple long shots. And I hit the first one right, but I didn't hit the second. And because I didn't hit the second, I didn't hit the third one as well. The first one was to play the Denver Broncos like 9 days ago or something on the money line, which means to win outright against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I did the numbers beforehand. And I figured, okay, well, if this whole instinct is going to be true. Remember when they say learn to trust your instincts? I'm not learning to trust my instincts because I trusted them and I got burned. But that's fine because it's not like I wagered everything on this major long shot. No, I could have bought 1.5 ounces of silver with it. And that attempt was to get, of course, the Mac because, okay, you hit your first bet, which was like 4 and change to 1, or close to 5 and 1. We'll say 4 and 1. And then you know for sure they're going to play either Baltimore or New England. So they're going to be big underdogs again. So you play the money line there, which was, of course, New England. And then you play Baltimore or New England again, which would have been Baltimore. And, well, that would have been the same price again. Because the way I looked at it was, if I start off with a 5-to-1 wager, or 4-to-1 we'll say, well 5-to-1 Canadian, 5 times your risk. Say you put 50 on it, that's going to be 250. Of course that wasn't the wager, but it was lower, but still. And then you take the 250, and then you bet that against the Patriots last Sunday at like closer to 6-to-1, I think. 5, I can't remember. I think it was around 5.5, 6. I can't remember offhand. But then that would bring it up to like, basically the way I would have done it, if the Broncos would have beaten the Patriots outright last Saturday, I didn't calculate in my head, I didn't calculate on paper, and I'm calculating in my head right now, I would have gotten back, like 300 anyway, 250, 300. And then you parlay that again, all in, which was the plan, all in the AFC Championship game, which would have been another 6-to-1. You multiply that together, you basically got the funds, you withdraw, you go to whatever store, you buy your Mac computer. Bingo, bango. That was the plan. But didn't happen.